I've made a couple of corn cakes here. I wanted to show you this real quick recipe. This is a corn cake recipe, and I love putting real maple syrup in there, and that's grade A. You can get the grade A or grade B. Basically what I put was say a half a cup of each or maybe was it a cup? Yeah, I would say that's about a half cup each, a half cup of the cornmeal, or maybe it was a cup of the cornmeal and then a half a cup of the all-purpose flour. And then I just put in probably a cup, about a cup of the cultured buttermilk, a little bit of sweetener, and I put the extra virgin olive oil. It gives it a little nice Mediterranean flavor. It's really nice. An egg, and of course just a little bit, like a half a teaspoon of baking powder and a half a teaspoon of baking soda. And then what I do, in order to oil the skillet, I have a butter that I use for my skillet, and I keep it wrapped in a paper, and I just kind of butter it up. This is like a grill kind of technique that you do if you have a food truck, and basically just I'll put in I want to make smaller sizes here, and let me go ahead and lower that because I don't want my butter to squirt. Well, I don't want to have burr butter, but it's already on its way to having burr butter. And this is my hot point. This is my hot spot. And you want to make sure your skillet is quite warm. Let me use another spoon. Okay, this is better. Just ladle them in. There you go. Okay, and then see how that's bubbling up right away? And that one's still taking its time, so I'm going to raise the heat on this side. And then, yeah, that should work. You have to know your hot spots especially when you're working with gas. And then I'm going to take my good old-fashioned spatula that I got from my aunt. Let's see. They're so delicious. I've already had one. I couldn't wait. Apologies for the jiggly camera. And just basically turn that over. See, that's a nice color right there. I'm going to wait till this is kind of caramelizing. And you want to put a little bit of fat in there because it just makes it different. And I had a choice to put butter inside, melted butter in the batter, or an oil. So I said, why not extra virgin olive oil? Because it kind of gives it that nice, like I said, like a Mediterranean kind of flavor, and they're good. So these are my corn cakes, which I'm going to share. And see how they're fluffing up, nice and fluffy. Yeah, I've been craving some pancakes, and I'll show you a multi-grain pancake. I've done some older videos, and maybe it's time to do a new video on how to do some pancakes. And I used to have these at this cafe, and they were so delicious, and actually were made out of blue corn. So I'm going to have this one right here. I'm going to put that here. And then these I'm going to share. And you basically just kind of, how do you know when they're done? You just do by touching them. Should have like a springy feel to them. over this because it's getting a little bit hot, and you don't want that to happen. You don't want too much heat on there. I think this is done. And you can put some butter on there. Everything's good with butter. And then you just gotta pour that in there. See, you got nice little circles instead of that wobbly spoon that I was using. And there's still some oil on there, so you can kind of, you know, after this one I'll probably add, some butter, some melted butter on there, so after this I'll probably add a little bit more butter. And yeah, I know this is kind of tacky. Usually I'll put it in a dish and then I'll use it. This is my fork I'm going to use to try my pancake. I'm going to pour some maple syrup, some real maple syrup. Who doesn't want real maple syrup with that? Then, if you want to sprinkle some powdered sugar, if you're going to have this like on a food truck presentation or even at a restaurant, this would be good. My goodness. Look at this. Yum. Aren't those pretty? Add strawberries to them. Fresh strawberries would be good. Blueberries. You can make a blueberry syrup or a blueberry compote. Any kind of berry would go with a corn pancake. Yeah. Oh, this is good. I don't even have to add extra butter. It's so delicious. So, there you have it. Have some corn cakes. Who doesn't like corn cakes? Next time you have a catering, offer corn cakes. And make sure your corn flour, which is what I use, corn flour, not cornmeal, is organic. That's really important. Okay, so I hope you have a great breakfast, and I'm going to enjoy these, and I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.